Hey everyone, this is Josh Shingles with Lifetime Exteriors. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about a common problem we see, which are overdriven nails. Now, when your shingles get installed on your roof, the nail heads are supposed to sit flush, like you see here, to secure your roof shingles to the roof decking. Now, the problem is a lot of times when crews are installing roofs, they may have their air compressor set too high or their nail depth set too deep. And instead of the nail heads sitting in there flush, the nail heads go partly the way through the shingle and they're barely hanging on there. This causes a real problem because now the roof is going to be a lot more susceptible to wind damage. And over time, these shingles may just start falling off the roof. So we've devised two different tests here. We're going to compare two different manufacturers to the shingle we install and see who's more susceptible to overdriven nails than the competition. Now, I'm going to be using a battery-powered nail gun. This is not nearly as powerful as the nail guns that most crews are going to be installing your roof with because they're going to be using an air compressor. This would not do your whole roof. The battery would run out. It's just not as powerful as what you would see with an air compressor, but this is just to show you, even with a battery-powered nail gun, that these shingles can be still susceptible to overdriven nails. We're going to drive in. I've got about 100 nails here in this nail gun. We're going to just go up and down these shingles to see how many nails get overdriven versus how many stay flush up against the shingle, the nail head, like they're supposed to. So let's get started and see how these shingles do. Had a little nail failure there on the nail gun. Well, let's keep going. All right, keep getting a nail failure on this nail gun here. Let's keep going. Get that fixed here. And this is another reason why you see guys use the air compressors, because these battery-powered nail guns are a little bit more prone to failure as well. So you can see how much this is slowing me down here with doing this test. But let's get this back in here, and hopefully we can keep going on our tests. All right, let's see how each of these shingles did with overdriven nails. So on shingle number 1, you can see here we've got, that's definitely overdriven. That one's blown all the way through. You've got, those are blow-throughs as well. That's overdriven. You've got most of these nail heads. These here are flush. That's overdriven. And you can see that's well overdriven. Most of these nail heads have been overdriven on this or have completely blown through. Let's see how this shingle did. These look good. That's flush. Now, okay, that's definitely overdriven. Now those are all overdriven. Look at that. That's overdriven there. You can see those are overdriven, how the matting has been broken. So I would say this one's, ooh, look at these. These are really bad. These aren't just overdriven, but they've blown all the way through the shingle. Again, I used a battery-powered nail gun, not as strong as what you could use with an air compressor. These are all blown through or overdriven. So this first one is at about a 50% fail rate with either overdriven or blown through shingles. The second one did pretty well over here, but down here, just a little under 50% failure rate on that. These overdriven ones are just a little overdriven. Let's look at the Owens Corning True Definition Duration Shingle. Again, this is our minimum standard. I would argue that one is overdriven there. So we got one, and you can kind of see the, I don't know. I don't even know if I would call that overdriven. So I would just to say that one there I would call. So we're looking at about 2 overdriven, 3 overdriven nails on the Owens Corning True Definition Duration Shingle versus complete blow throughs here, overdriven 50% failure, 50% failure. So each of these has anywhere between like 15 to 20 nails that are either overdriven or that have completely blown through. So with the Owens Corning have 3 overdriven nails, you can see that is going to be the superior choice. And now again, I did use a battery powered DeWalt nail gun, and I did have it at the setting of 5, which is the deepest nail depth. But again, normally if the crew is doing the right thing, they're going to turn their depth and adjust that. But I wanted to test the biggest or the largest depth and see who would do the best and who would do the worst. So I would almost argue this had a lot more, I would say, this had the most blow through, and this one had a lot more overdriven nails. So each of these fail in their own way. And again, with the Owens Corning True Definition, you can see why we like using that product. All right, so for the final part of this test, what I want to do is you can see each of these shingles, I got well over 30 nails on each of them. I'm going to see how hard they are to pull off with that many nails secured. Because obviously, most shingles are either going to be secured with 4 nails or 6 nails. In this instance, we've got 30 nails here. That's pretty strong. So I'm going to simulate wind by just taking the bottom here and just pulling up and seeing how hard it is to pull these shingles off. And you will see why nail blow through and overdriven nails will be a problem when you see potentially if I can take this off pretty easy with 30 nails, then that means these shingles do have a problem in this regard. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm going to try this first shingle here. Again, I'm going to use both hands. I'm just going to use my thumb, my pointer finger. Let's see. Ooh, that's okay. So I did have to do some force to get that off. But and the top did stay in. Let's go ahead and pull that off. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this shingle next. Again, finger, thumb, pointer finger, thumb. That didn't take much force at all. That just came off super easy. Now let's try the Owens Corning True Definition Duration Shingle. And I'm pulling as hard as I can. I'm going to use my whole hands because you see I'm pulling this whole table off here. Let me set this down. But I can't. There we go. Starting to get it. All right. As you can tell, there's a much big difference when it comes to nail blow through and overdriven nails. The Owens Corning True Definition Duration Shingle, I can't even pull that off. Those other ones I was able to pull off with just my pointer finger and my thumb. But you can see why we like the Owens Corning True Definition Duration Shingle with that sure nail strip. I have it on my house. I have it on my mom's house. Hands down right now, with this patent that they have with this sure nail strip, it's the only shingle I would recommend installing. Again, they have a nicer line, which we install also, called the Flex. But when it comes to architectural shingles, in my opinion, this is the only shingle to go with, or the next level up from there. So anyways, I want to thank you so much for watching. This is Josh Shingles of Lifetime Exteriors, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.